Hello my friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop and welcome to part 7 of the electric guitar build project. Okay, so in the previous 2 episodes, because I forgot to keep an eye on the time again, I'd shown you how I'd routed the channel on the inside of the top half of the guitar for the wires to run through. And I painted those channels with where is it? There it is, the carbon insulating paint, really, and started to glue the two halves together. So I said that I was going to just, you know, clamp them together initially and then put it on the floor over here with all those water bottles on top with boards, you know, to press it down. Well, after I finished the video, I had a closer look at that and it wasn't working. There were still gaps around, so I had to act quickly, and I took all those water bottles off and I clamped it. I used a clamp or two. So, you know, there was like 70 pounds of weight on top of that, but because of the gaps between the bottles, we weren't getting the right pressure in the right places, so I decided to clamp it up. So that was yesterday for me, a few days ago for you. So it's been overnight. It's been 16 hours or so, maybe a bit more, 18 hours. So that should be more than long enough for that to have done the job. So I'm going to bring it over to the bench and I'm going to start removing the 23 clamps on there and see how it's looking. It should be fine. The only thing I am concerned about, well, not overly, because I've used clamps and because I had to work quickly, I didn't use clamping cauls, i.e., you know, bits of scrap wood and things between the guitar body and the clamps. So I may have a few pressure marks on the body from the clamps. It's quite hard wood, so I don't expect them to be too bad, and as such relatively easy to get rid of. We're probably just you know, first of all quite a coarse sanding over the surfaces and then a fine sanding, and it should be absolutely fine. Well, let's bring it over to the bench and have a look, shall we? Oh my goodness, that weighs about 400 tons, thereabouts. Oh my god. Right, so I've got a clamp or two to remove, but yeah, like I said, that should have worked much better than the weights on and the boards. So let me just angle the camera down a little bit. How's that looking? A bit more. Right, so let's start to take these clamps off. I'm just going to dump them over here on the floor for now. It's taken me a little while. And we'll see how it looks. That's one. Two. Yeah, I've definitely got some marks on there, but it won't be... I can't feel any depression, so it should be alright. These ones I've put in the middle here. I've got 5 in the middle here. I have actually used boards there, so there shouldn't be any issues there. Right. So yeah, so this will take a while, but we'll get there. There's definitely witness marks, but that one is slightly indented, but like I said, it's not going to be too bad and I'll be able to sort it out. Okay, keep going, keep going, keep going. Yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad. Stuck somehow. Ooh. Right, let's get these off the top and then I'll turn it round to get the rest of them. Never mind. I said it. I'll be able to sort it out. It's not a problem. Just turn that round now. Nearly there. Just a few more. Board. Okay. 3 more. We're there. Okay, yeah, you can probably see the witness marks from the clamps, but I think, you know, a sanding will get rid of all of that. Same on the back. Yeah, there's nothing too bad. It's just, it marks, but there's not indentations, which is good. I think we're going to be fine there. It's actually better than I thought. The only bad one is, where was it? Was it that one? Can't remember where it was now. Ah, there. That one there. That's okay. I'll be able to sort that out. A sanding will sort that out. So, you may also recall I put this cable in there to, you know, to keep the glue out of that channel for the wire. So now the challenge is to remove that wire. Hopefully it shouldn't be too difficult. Okay, I can actually do that with my fingers. That's, if you look here, look. There we go. It's nice and easy. Hopefully, so this one, we've got kind of a bend here, so it would be better to pull it out that way, but we'll see how it goes. If it comes out easy, all well and good. Just like that. There we go. And you can see, obviously, it's got a bit of that carbon paint on there, which means it would have, you know, pulled a little bit off inside, but it really isn't anything to worry about. And as for glue squeeze out inside the pockets, I've got a couple of areas there, a little bit there, hardly anything on that one, and that one seems to be clear. So just needs a little bit of glue cleanup. I don't even really need to do it, but I just want to do it for my own peace of mind. So I'm going to use a chisel and just kind of scrape out the excess glue. Really isn't much at all, which is good because you know, I didn't want to have to do a ton of cleanup afterwards. Really is just a few little bits. And like I said, it doesn't even need doing really, but I prefer to do it to keep it nice and tidy. Little bit in that corner there, but to be honest, that's about it. Yeah. And the neck pocket as well, that's all good. Nice. Okay, so that's turned out pretty good. It all seems to be stuck together nicely. Can't see any gaps anywhere. Yeah, all looks good. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that one there, that pressure mark from the clamp there, that's the worst one. There is a bit of a divot there, which is a shame. Would be on the top, wouldn't it? And also in an area where it's not going to be covered by the pick guard. Let me just check, I don't think so. Oh, it might be, might be. Actually, yes, it will be covered by the pick guard, so I don't have to worry too much if I can't get it perfect, but I'll do my best to, you know, make the whole surface lovely and smooth. And the back, there's nothing at all there. You can see the marks. That's just a little bit of glue. That will just wipe off. Same there. So the back is actually fine. It will need a sanding, and as I said, for the top, I'll sand over the whole lot, and that should be fine. That one there, I'd have to take off I'd have to sand it quite a lot to get that gone, but thankfully that's going to be underneath the pick guard. I'll know it's there, which will annoy me, but it's fine. It's not that bad. And you probably see also that I've filled in all of the screw holes for the pick guard, because I didn't quite have the alignment right. It was a little bit shifted this way, so it was out of line with the neck pocket. We had a gap here and an overhang this side, so I hadn't quite done it right. Well, I had, but you know, where I'd cut out this neck pocket by hand, everything had shifted a bit. And that was the same thing with the pickups as well. You know, because this had shifted a tiny, tiny bit, probably only a millimetre, it's kind of put everything else out of whack. So I widened these humbucker pockets, so we've got a little bit of wiggle room side to side, as I showed you before. However, I did mess up this pick guard. So if I put it kind of in place there, I'll line it up with the old screw holes, ish. Where I cut out this piece for the bottom of the neck, I've gone too far and I've made a real mess of it. I was a bit pissed off about that, but as I said, this was cheap, and I've ordered another one because this one, you know, I could still use it, it'd be fine, but I'd have a gap here between the pick guard and the end of the end of the fretboard, so there'd be, you know, sort of a fairly big gap there, and it would look horrific. So I've ordered another one, and I'll redo it. I'll keep this as a template to cut the other one, because I had to cut all of this off this side, and obviously had to cut this out for the humbucker. So this will be a good template, but I've ordered another one and I'll redo it later. I mean, I don't need to worry about that right now. Just trying to think what will be the next stage on this, and I'm thinking where I've glued the back on, it doesn't exactly meet the contour of the top part. You know, I cut it slightly larger all the way around, so I've got to, you know, I've got to get that the same, the back the same as the top all the way around. Now, and also I've got to cut this like ear off here as well, and I've got to trim up the back part of where the neck's going to sit. So, you know, I've still got some shaping to do. One thing I've been noticing about this wood, because it's base wood, because it's pieces of wood glued together, I mean, all the grain goes the same way, but with different pieces of wood, you've got different grain. And what I'm finding working with this wood is it chips really easily. And when I say chips, I don't mean a tiny little sliver, I mean chunks. So far I've got away with not damaging any areas where it doesn't need to be damaged. I mean, actually the back of these humbucker pockets, it kind of, you know, chipped out a bit there when I was doing that. So, you know, the easiest and quickest way to level the top and the back the same all the way around, the easiest and quickest way is with the router. I trust my router, now that it's fixed. I trust my router bits. I don't trust this wood. So I'm not sure what to do about that. I probably would be better to finish all of this, you know, shape it by hand. Sure, it will take about 50 times longer, but it will be a lot safer, you know, it'll be better for control. But I am eventually going to be beveling the edges, top and back, so I don't want this, you know, sharp edge. I want a nice curved edge all the way around. And again, I could do that by hand, but that would take forever, and it would be really hard to get it, you know, very, very tidy. So that I will have to do on the router. I'm just going to have to trust it and hope for the best. So I'm not going to worry about sanding the top and the back just yet, because I'm going to be doing a lot of work on this and, you know, shaping and everything else. So that will be a much later stage. Basically, when I'm sort of getting close to the painting stage, I'll be worrying about that. Until then, not so much. And I've just given too much away actually. But that's going to be explained later about how I'm going to be finishing this guitar and the bass when I get round to doing that. So I'm going to off camera just get rid of that ear and start to do some shaping by hand, and I'll get about half of it done and see how we go, and then record a bit of it, because it's going to be quite time consuming. It is going to take a long time by hand, but I don't know, I might still do it with a router yet. I might, you know, bite the bullet and see how it goes. Either way, you know, this stage now, I want to, you know, get the shape all the way around finished, you know, so that it's all the same top and back, and, you know, all the curves nice, no divots and bumps and everything, get all that sorted, and then I'll probably need to do the, you know, this part of the back, get this shaped for the neck, and then bevel the edges top and back, which I will be doing on the router, because it will literally take a couple of minutes if it goes well. Okay, so I'm going to keep this video short. Just wanted to kind of get you up to date with where I am right now, and once I've, you know, finalised the shape and everything of this, I'm then going to be sort of test fitting the hardware and the electrics. And I've got to figure out how to do the electrics. I know, you know, it's basically Telecaster electrics, and they're pretty basic, but it's not my strong point. So I'm going to be doing a bit of research and make sure I get that right, and do a couple of try to test it outside the body before I put it all in and solder it up and everything, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so that will be coming soon. I'm trying to get on with things, but trying to, you know, film as much as possible as well. But I need to think about the order that I do things. So we'll see where we go with the next one. Not quite sure exactly what I'll be doing in part 8. But if you are enjoying these videos, please give a like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm really trying to get my numbers up, and it is going up, but slowly. So anything you can do to help will be really, really appreciated. So in the meantime, please look after yourselves, look after each other. We will see you soon. Peace out.